Hello everyone, Chris here. In today's video, I decided to spend next 10 hours learning Brig. Let's get started. Before we start the challenge, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about me. I currently have about 500 hours in Overwatch. I started playing this game 4 months ago, and I have almost never played Overwatch 1. If we are being specific, I never played Overwatch 1 seriously. And lately, I was able to hit Masters to 80% on support while playing Ana, which is a very nice achievement for me personally. I feel like I never deserved to play in lobbies like this 2 months ago, 3 months ago, simply because I was not ready yet. The game was very fast-paced and I had to react in a very fast manner in order to utilize my character in a proper way. I had to hit a lot of my shots, I had to be precise with my sleep darts and antis. And after doing Ana, I decided to swap the character a little bit and try Brig. Right from the start, watching Korean professional publics, I knew that this character is an absolute meta, but I was wondering why people play Brig. Why is she so potent? Why is she so necessary in every single lobby they play? And I could not quite find the answer myself before a better player explained it. He said that in the current state of the game, where Winston, Tracer, Sombra, Ana are being played, you, as a 5th player, as a complementary second support, have the obligation to protect and bodyguard your Ana to make the difference. You are the only character that can save Ana from the dive threats that are coming to her house every single time she is in range of Winston, Tracer, Sombras. And it's very interesting how my perception of the character completely changed after I spent 10 hours on Brig. We will speak about my observations of the character in later hours, but I wanted to mention that I absolutely failed this challenge. I'm not gonna cheese you up, guys, and say that it was amazing, it was great. If you are interested, my win rate was about 38%, which is a complete failure. If you compare that with my Ana one, it was about 65, which is beyond impressive. And there are a few things that I personally did wrong that made me have that low win rate, and I'm sure that if you will avoid them, you will become a better Brig player as a result, and you will get better at the game, at support role and Brig specifically. I feel like the first hour was kind of a warm-up. I never felt that Brig was a hard character, yet something in her mechanics felt a little off. The fact that you have to combine your left clicks, shield and shield bash, and they are like all the same buttons, was pretty hard. Let's go for the next hour. So I feel like the biggest problem I personally have encountered as a Brig player playing high masters, low GM lobbies is the fact that people are not always playing Winston, Tracer, Sombra versus you. People not always play Doomfist, people not always play Wrecking Ball. And when you're playing Brig versus the Brawl comp, you find yourself in situations where you are passively healing behind walls, waiting for your teammates to make the difference, in comparison with you playing Ana and being a pacemaker, being a person that initiates everything, being a person that goes in with an anti, with a clutch sleep, that can change the situation with nano, that can go in and land 3 shots on a squishy and get a kill. I never felt anything like that while I was playing Brig. I felt that I am being bullied, I felt like I am not in my place, and I personally would always ask for a main healer because Brig Zen, Brig Lucio, or Brig Mercy is just a complete failure and you're wasting your potential as a character. And I feel like you pair that up with the end of the season, 15 to 20 minute queues, because for some reason low GM players are non-existent in this game. And the fact that every single time you load into a game, sometimes you are experiencing some crybabies on your team or an enemy team, and as a result, the quality of the lobby decreases significantly. I felt that Brig is a very niche character, super meta one, but you need to find a way to utilize her when necessary. And if you were to ask me what is going to be your bottleneck while playing Brig, what is going to be a weak link that will always let you down? And I will tell you, every single time I would ask for Ana, I would get a decent Ana player, but decent is not enough to carry the games on your own. Every single time I would ask for this very high skill ceiling character, I personally, as a Brig player, have pretty much no mechanisms to help him, because my job is very simple. I just need to stay behind and throw my health packs, and occasionally I would whip shot to proc my inspire, and then when the opportunity arises, I can shield bash into a person and bash him to death. While on Ana, you have to like unleash your full brain capacity in order to hit your shots, hit your sleeps, hit your nades. And when you are giving away this very important role of the second support that actually decides whether you are carrying and losing games, it's not a surprise that the game turns into a casino and a 50-50 if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, it's going to be even less. Hour 4, enough with whining and crying. I feel like it's time to focus on the gameplay a little bit, and just as I've said earlier, Brig is a very niche player or character. Every single time I would want to play Brig against the Brawl comp without dive tanks, without Genjis, without Sombras, and without Tracers on the enemy team, I would rather just play Zenyatta and have significantly more value with my Discord Orb. I would rather play Ana myself, and I know that I am a very good Ana player and I can actually make the difference instead of outsourcing it to some random dude who is drunk, not ready to play, not willing to aim, doesn't know how to aim, whatever the reason is. So two of my biggest problems is that my players would play bad comp, my second support is gonna be playing Lucio or Mercy, God forbid playing Mercy Brig. Nah, this is like the next level throwing. Or the enemies would just swap right as I am about to dominate them for the third time. It usually takes 2 times for the enemy players to just completely swap their roster after they fail their dive assassination attempts against me. I would play Brig into Monkey, into Tracer, and they would go for my Ana and completely fail each and every attempt simply because I am health packing, and your health packs goes through bubbles, your health packs go through shields, and this is so overpowered versus that. The fact that you are constantly proccing your Inspire and your Ana is pretty much absolutely unkillable, even if they are diving her with Sombra, Tracer, and Winston at the same time with a coordinated dive. Surely your team can follow up and peel for the backline or go for their backline. Surely they will do that. In reality, I just find myself in situations playing versus Brawl comps. As you can see here, we are playing against Reinhardt Reaper, and you can certainly play Brig into that. There is not a problem with it. You just bait Reinhardt into coming into a close range, and then you just bash away. If he wants to go for the charge, you can bash straight into him and you will both be on the ground, as well as you can always whip shot to keep the range against him, but it is just a disaster. Again, this hour 5 uncut gameplay of Circuit Royale is going to be a great representation of what I was saying for the past however many minutes. The fact that I am literally doing my job, but unfortunately character has its possibilities and limitations, and I just cannot help myself and cannot help my team while staying passive behind my tank. I have a very nice matchup versus Sigma. Yes, I can mace him away, and then if he wants to go for the rock, I would just shield it. If he wants to go for his left click, whatever it's called, I can just shield, and then in between them, while he's reloading or something, I am going for the shot. As you can see here, we are getting picks here and there, But I'm just not applying as much pressure as I would have applied on Anna. I'm just not applying as much pressure as I would have applied on Baptiste. And even though they are playing decent characters that I have very good 1 versus 1s against, I just can't help myself but find myself in situations where I'm completely useless. They don't have a single dive character. They don't have a character that is a threat to my Mercy, and in reality of the situation, I cannot protect my Mercy. She's always up in the air, she's always very far away from me, and I'm just sitting there, pretty much losing the game that I should have won. As you can see, I'm not feeding, I'm not giving them ultimate charge, I'm not dying, I am always trying to enable my DPS with health packs, I'm always trying to support them, I am always trying to be there, and I'm in range to heal. But in reality, your health packs are limited, and then there is just nothing I can do. I'm trying to press rally here and set up for it. It's not working. I'm trying to... Like, it is just a tragedy and a disaster when you are going to play Brig, especially in higher level lobbies. Realistically speaking, against Brawl comps versus Sigmas versus Soldiers, especially Mercy pocketed, there is no way you can go in. On the maps such as Circuit Royale, you don't have flanking routes and you cannot distract enemies. I have seen the awkward unranked to GM while he was going for a distraction. He was like, yo, enemies looking at me while I'm not looking at them. And although this was a very interesting watch, I just could not replicate that in my own games, probably because of a skill issue. When the guy has played the game for 6 years, obviously he feels those moments and openings just like a grandmaster in chess, knows when to engage and disengage with his figures. I don't see that, and the disaster just continues. They are not diving and we are just staggering, sitting there, failing to do anything. Tragedy. This was a very interesting hour 6 game. I finally play versus dive. We're playing versus ball, and this ball player was absolutely super cracked. So this girl was able to boop one guy and then tried to boop another, and I booped her out. What a magnificent play by me to finish off the career of this aspiring ball player. And then I would just die from Sojourn. Very cool. I love playing Brig. The fact that I always have a player who plays Ana, yet I fail to do what pro players are doing in their games, and I'm trying to replicate that and it's just not working, makes me feel that I am an absolute idiot. As you can see here, we finally, after 6 hours of gameplay, I finally get a footage where I'm protecting someone. Oh, of course, I protected someone on hour 1 in the Ilias game, but in reality, it is just a disaster and a half while you are doing that. I feel like Brig has its possibilities and limitations and very, very comp dependent. Not only enemy comp dependent, but your own team comp dependent. And it makes this character insanely strong versus dive. But when you play her in poke scenario, when you play her in brawl scenario, I feel like there are better options, and I can't help myself to just swap Zenyatta and win all of my games here. Easily. I would have easily won 60% of my games instead of winning 35 or 38 or however much I said. It doesn't actually matter. The fact that I was hitting most of my whip shots, I was in great positions, and I would throw hell packs at the right place at the right time, never made any difference. Here my ball is dying. I'm just not applying any pressure at all. Imagine you would be Ana. You have the opportunity to nade this guy and he would have been dead. Whip shot also killed him, but in reality, yeah, imagine you could have slapped that Mercy. So slowly but surely this challenge turns into a hustle. And I figured out at hour 6 that I am just not enjoying this character as much as I wanted to. I feel like I am just playing Mercy. where most Mercy players have like 52%, 53% win rate, and they are just like scrolling the casino wheel, right? Oh, I got the better team, I'm gonna win. Oh, I got the worst team, I'm gonna lose. And there is no percentage of games where you can actually make the difference your own, it feels like, and it is just a complete disaster. It is just a complete disaster. My mechanical part of Brig is pretty decent. I know most of the tech. I watched the best Brig player in the world. His name is Chio. I'm gonna link his Twitch in the description so you can watch his VODs. But in reality, this is tragedy and a disaster and a half. I feel like the biggest problem I personally experienced, especially in closed games, in games where both teams had the opportunity to win, but for the majority of time I would have lost those, is the fact that I cannot really duel anyone 1v1. Hour 7, and we are playing versus semi-brawl again. There's just nothing I can do. Every single time I would want to swap, I just find myself in situations where I'm like, yo, Chris, you just need to continue this challenge and move on. You just have to bing chilling for some time and you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. And again, something was utterly wrong. I did not have enough healing for the main support. I did not have enough impact because they were playing Brawl comp, and every single time they would want to play Winston versus me, I would force them out of this character. But the problem is that they can switch and I absolutely can't. Maybe it was all in my head and you guys would even enjoy watching me playing other characters, but in reality it's just a disaster and a never-ending hell for me. I already lost my Masters 2 at this point and I'm going like 3-8. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing support after this challenge. I'm letting this rank that I obtained after losing it be my final rank, and it is just a disaster. You guys wanted to have a happy ending. You guys wanted me to say that everything was nice and clean and sunshine and rainbows. No. Try playing this character for yourself versus Brawl comp. You'll find yourself in situations where you absolutely have no place on the map and there is nothing to do. This has to be one of my most depressing videos that I have ever recorded, yet it needed to be said, it needed to be done. I felt like a complete failure. I felt that I am not worthy of hitting Grandmaster, even though I know for a fact that I am a Grandmaster level Ana player when it comes to playing Brig in a very specific scenario. Makes me sad. I feel like it would have been way easier if I were to play Brig on maps with verticality that basically force you to play Winston or D.Va, and you have very nice matchups versus those characters. But in reality, I just played Brig everywhere and hoped they would go Winston, Ball, or Doomfist, and they never did. Yeah, sure, they were playing Tracer, but imagine you would have played other character that can deal with it. Imagine you would have played Zenyatta and completely destroy this Arisa player, make him suffer, make him go and swap the character for someone else. Oh, instead I'm going Brig and losing another one. Holy man, this is a tragedy and a disaster and a half. Hour 9 and the mechanical part of the character has been accomplished. I understand how to 1v1, I understand where I should engage and disengage, I am blending most of my whip shots, yep, and there is a footage of me missing a whip shot. You guys are gonna forgive me for that, right? I'm still shocked and confused. Every single time I would watch Brig players absolutely pop off, they pop off for a reason. They are just put themselves in scenarios and situations where they have the chance to do so. But Brig is a not versatile character. You absolutely cannot play her versus Brawl. You have better options on the market right now, and for a fact you'll have better options as a result in the future. Here, look, I'm protecting my Ashe, and if she would not be able to catch all the arrows with her big head from Hanzo, she would be absolutely fine versus Winston. Finally, we are playing versus Winston, although, yeah, we still failed tremendously, and I feel like I even lost this game as well. Although this particular gameplay is pretty clean. I decided to do an uncut version where I'm not killing anyone, because realistically speaking, you can't really kill anyone on Brig, except they are making big mistakes. So yeah. I am so shocked at the fact that no one told me these aspects of Brig that makes her insanely unplayable, and you just have to swap and have better options. Kiriko is so much better, Zenyatta is so much better. Like, you find yourself in situations where you don't even need to protect anyone. Your Ana is completely fine on her own, and you are just a failed bodyguard. You're a bodyguard of a person that no one cares about. You're a bodyguard of a celebrity that no one knows about. It's like, oh, I am so popular. No, bro, no one knows about you. Just like no one knows about my Ana, and I still protect her. Anyways, I have to stop on this little happy note, as this is the final hour of the challenge, and honestly, I hate it. I absolutely hated it. If you were to ask me to play it again, I would only do Brig versus Brawl and Brig on her good maps with verticality, where you are exposing yourself onto Winstons, such as maps like Numbani and other stuff, and even though they are not playing Winston, you can still find value on Brig. Hollywood is one of them, and Jesus Christ. Pair my experience with a few concepts, right? The first one is that my queue times are 15 minutes, so I'm literally wasting so much time doing nothing. And then you go and get a game where you get a crybaby and you lose in 5 minutes. And then you get another game and they are playing Brawl comp, and you're like, oh god, really? And then you go for another game and you play Havana and you have sniper comp against you, and there is just nothing you can do. And then you pair that up when you go for another match and they are just not running dive comp, and you are completely useless. There is no one to bodyguard, bro. Chillax. Your schizophrenia is getting the best out of you. Everyone's fine. Everyone's okay. You would rather play Ana. You would rather play Zen. I'm still shocked no one told me. Awkward with his unranked to GM is saying that, oh, Brig is just insanely overpowered and you can get Grandmaster only playing her. Well, yeah, if you're playing the game for 7 hours or 7 years for 7 hours a day, surely you can get Grandmaster with her. But in reality, for 99.9% of the players, this is completely unapplicable. She's really nice versus dive, but other than that, there are better characters. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Take care.